What's the difference between a higher, faster vibration and a lower, slower one? Higher, faster feels better. It's what joy and love are. Lower, slower feels worse. It's what depression is. It's what despair and fear are. Higher, faster has less resistance. Lower, slower has more resistance. So really, the operative word that we're talking about here today is, as I stand in my human form, what is it that I could do a better job of controlling that would make the most difference in my life? And we want to say to you, if you'll get a bead on your resistant tendencies and work them into less resistance, your vibration will raise. You'll hover on the brink of the vortex, or you'll pop in often. Once you get in there, you'll be able to maintain your vibrational stability longer so the vortex won't keep spitting you out. It's interesting. You do. You focus on something that makes you feel good and you get in there. Feels really good. Then you remember something. Start focusing on it. The vortex spits you right out. Because if you're not up to speed, you can't sustain that vibration, you see. So over time, we've said to you, when you want it and believe it, it is. Then we began telling you that you are a creator. And that if you are a deliberate creator, which means you think more about what you want, you script it, you write about it, you talk about it, that more of the things that you want will begin to come into your experience. Be more deliberate in your intent, we said to you. Then we watched you. You worried about your thoughts too much then. You got the idea that every word that popped out of your mouth was going to bring immediate response to that word. So you said, cancel, 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 as you tried to suck back the word before law of attraction took it away and ran with it. And so then we began explaining to you that well-being really is the basis of your experience, and that you have much latitude and leeway. And that if you will think about allowing what you want to come, that there is a step 3 process. Life causes you to do step 1, ask. Source answers, and today we're telling you not just answers. Source literally becomes the vibrational equivalent of what you're asking for and holds it in this vortex where law of attraction is gathering. Step 3 is you got to figure out how to be a vibrational match. And then for a while, we offered you the analogy that when you ask, source answers. And as law of attraction responds to source holding the fullness of all you've asked for, as law of attraction responds to that request, the sensation to you is like a being called downstream, naturally toward the fulfillment of what you're wanting. Today, we are going to describe this process to you in yet another way. We want to say to you that when you ask, you send rockets of desire into your vibrational experience. And we've been calling this your vibrational escrow, because it's where all that you want is held in an account that's just for you, that no one else is going to sweep in. Bernie Madoff does not have access to this account. And then we began calling it a vibrational reality. It's a vibrational reality because you're so excited about this physical reality. We want you to be excited about this vibrational reality. And today we are calling this vortex, a vortex of creation. It is a vortex, and the reason that we are calling it a vortex is because as law of attraction responds to this powerful point that the source within you is holding on your behalf, this much larger than you part of you, this much larger than the physical part of you, non-physical part of you, stands there holding this pure thought of what you've been asking for, and with the absence of resistance to this, and law of attraction's response to that, there is a powerful vortex that is created, a vortex of attraction. And this is the most important thing for you to hear about this, where all cooperative components are being assembled. The question is, are you a cooperative component? And the answer is, if you're mostly joyful, mostly happy, mostly eager, mostly frisky, then yes, you could count yourself as a cooperative component. And if all of that is true, then you're saying to us, things work out for me. Ideas come just at the right time. I flow in and out of all things. I rendezvous with like-minded people. Wonderful things happen. I barely think about something that I want, and the path to achieve it is unfolding for me. I feel good all of the time. I wake up, I hit the floor with a feeling of enthusiasm for life. I feel reborn anew every day of my life experience. If that's the way you are describing yourself, then you are often, most often, in the vortex. But if you're ornery, if you're confused, if you feel resentment, then you're not in the vortex, not consistently. And if you're like most people, you're in and out, in and out. If you're like most people, you're out, and out and out, and out and out and in, and out, and out and out, and out and out, and damn mad about being out and in, and out, and out, and out, and joining an online chat group about how crummy it is to be out, and out, and out, and out, and out, and in, and out. If you're like most people, you're out mostly, on the brink of it sometimes, and in rarely, but you've been in enough to taste the sweetness of alignment, enough so that when you're not in there experiencing the fullness of all that is meant to be for you, you resent it. You know something is really, 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 really wrong. And that's why when you don't feel good, you want to blame this one and that one and this one and that one and this one and that one. Usually the person you live with is the person that gets the brunt of your blame about you not being in the vortex, but we want to lovingly give it all back to you. You get the credit, 100% of the credit, about whether you're in the vortex or whether you're not in the vortex. We just want to do the best sales job ever about wanting to inspire your desire to be in the vortex, because we see clearly what you've put there, and we know the expansiveness of who you have become, and we know the capacity for clarity and love that is really you, and we don't blame you a little bit if you're not completely up to speed with the fullness of who you have become. You feel awful and you want it. We just want to say to you, there's no way of filling the void of not being in the vortex other than getting in the vortex. So over time, we've been saying to you that if you have a desire and your belief is the same as your desire, that's really what positive expectation is, then it has to be, and it has to be fast. Because your desire is pure, there's no resistance to it, and it's flowing to you. And you've proved that out in your own life, haven't you? The things you expect come easily to you. It's the things you don't expect that keep seemingly messing up your experience. Someone the other day says, I don't want to work there, but I have no choice. What an awful trap. I want more money, but I can't figure out how to get any. I want a mate, but I can't find a mate. And we say, when you want and you equally or greater doubt the thing you want, then you hold yourself in what feels like a tug of war to you, and it literally is a tug of war, because in your doubting you have introduced a resistance that does not allow you to go to the vortex where what you want is. Can't buy one more thing and bring it home. Can't eat something, drink something, shoot something. You can't find somebody else to give their attention to you, to love you enough. In other words, it's not possible for you to fill the void that is the fullness of who you are without getting in the vortex, which simply means you just got to stop doing that thing you do that doesn't let you in. So what are some of the things you do that prevent you from getting into the vortex? And you understand this vortex is just this high, non-resistant energy place where you rendezvous with the source. Esther's in the vortex, otherwise she could not receive Abraham with this clarity. In other words, she is up to speed with the vibration that is us, and that's why the conversation is seamless between the intent of that which we are offering and her ability to deliver it. That's in the vortex. When you're in the vortex, that's when your inspiration is at its greatest. That's where authors and artists and musicians, that's where those that you call masters often find what they call their inspiration. They're in the vortex where they have clear view of not only the idea, but the path to which it will unfold. When you're in the vortex, things unfold for you in a way that there's no question in your mind that that's the thing to do. You know how sometimes you say, I don't know whether to go this way or that way. You're not in the vortex, because if you were in the vortex, you'd say, I'm going this way and I don't care what anybody thinks about it. When you say, those people over there and their philosophy is really awful and their philosophy is going to bring us all down, you're not in the vortex. And it's not their philosophy that's bringing you down. It's you not being in the vortex that's not bringing you up. No one can bring you down, but your standards of how up you really are keep changing. And if you don't stay up to speed with who you are, you don't feel good. So When you gain confidence in these laws of the universe, you'll be joyful no matter where you stand in relationship to anything you want. So when we began here today, we asked the question, so what's this belief thing? I want it, but I don't believe it because I haven't yet seen it. So a logical person would say, well, if I haven't seen myself do it, but I need to believe I can do it in order to do it, doesn't it seem impossible? And we say, not when you believe in the laws of the universe, not when you understand law of attraction, not when you understand that you are non-physical energy first and foremost. You don't have to believe that you can accomplish that specific thing. You just have to believe that you can accomplish anything. You just have to understand that the universe has your back, that the law of attraction will yield to you the equivalent of what you're offering vibrationally. You just have to believe that your emotions never lie to you, that your emotions every time give you the feedback that lets you know whether you're in vibrational alignment with what you want or not. So over time, we've offered many different analogies, but our favorite one so far is this. So you are source energy, and a part of you comes forth into the physical, while the larger, far and away, the larger part of you remains eternally and non-physically focused, as source always does. Source, get it? Source. Some say, Abraham, why doesn't source come forth and be physical if source thinks we should like physical so much? And we say that's like asking the electricity in your wall to come forth and be the toaster. Sometimes the toaster is happy that there's electricity coming through the wall, you see. And so it's the same thing. Source is source, and you are an extension of source out here on the leading edge. So here you are out here on the leading edge as extension of source, exposing yourself to new ideas and launching constant new rockets of desire, which the source within you embraces and becomes the vibrational equivalent of immediately. And when that happens, there is a vibrational disparity between you and the physical and you and the non-physical. In other words, the non-physical you not only believes that this can be, but knows it. Not only believes and knows that it can be, but already is it. Already is it. It's already done, vibrationally speaking. When you ask, it's done. There's just one little thing you have to do as you are physically focused, and that is you have to become a vibrational match to what you're asking for. So over here, where who you really are is, and where the culmination of all of your rockets of desire are, and where the source within you in its expanded version because of you is, we're calling this the vortex of creation. It's the vortex. It's a vibrational reality. We talked earlier about how when you look at something that's already manifested in your reality, you say, well, I can believe that because I can see that. I believed my chair would hold me, and I believe the sun will come up in the morning because I've seen it enough that I believe it. There's a lot of things that I believe because I'm witnessing the manifestation of them. And we say, if you will decide today that you're not going to need to witness the manifestation of something before you believe it, you will become the creator who can create anything that you desire. And we want you to understand that it's easy to do because over here in your vibrational reality, by the way, this is the reality that precedes all manifested reality. So don't feel bad. Sometimes our physical friends think, oh, well, yeah, vibrational reality. I'm rich there. I'm skinny too. But what we want you to understand is the vibrational reality always precedes the reality. And if you have knowledge of the existence of this vibrational reality, if you know about this vortex, do you know what happens over here in this vortex of creation? Law of attraction is responding to the desire and causing a culmination, assembling all cooperative components. So everything that is necessary for the achievement of anything that you want has already been assembled. The question that we want to ask you is, are you a cooperative component? Or are you over here keeping alive a belief of doubt that contradicts what you're asking for? And the answer to the question, if you are feeling negative emotion, then you're keeping alive a vibration that contradicts it. Because if you're even hoping, you're over here on the edge and the vortex is taking you in. In other words, this is a powerful vortex of attraction. And it will bring everything that matches it. But if you're over there beating the drum of why you want it, in other words, I want it because it's miserable not having it. I want it because I don't have it and I don't like not having it.